Welcome to Within the Madness. The men's edition is March 21st. Man, people have advanced, won another round. As far as a quick update on, well, first let's start with the late games from last night. Then we'll let you know about the late game tonight that's currently going on. Gonzaga handled their business last night, 98-55. UCLA did what they needed to do, beating BYU 73-62. Then we had the upset, 14-seeded Abilene Christian. They took down third-seeded Texas, 53-52. That's the only game I want to hear y'all's quick thoughts on from last night, which is that big upset between Abilene Christian and Texas.
Well, Texas struggles shooting all season. Like, they're not a great shooting team, and Abilene Christian basically exposed it. You know, they packed the lane and made Texas a jump shooting team, and if you can't hit jumpers, it's going to be hard to win in this tournament. And that's what I was kind of afraid of. Texas won off their defense and their athleticism, you know what I'm saying, getting out and running and transition. That's how they won games. And if you can't match up with that, we all know how Shaka Smart is. He's a great defensive-minded coach or whatnot. So, but they never were a great shooting team. And if it came down to them having to make jumpers, you know they could potentially lose. And that's what happened. What's his name? Big boy that stepped up to the line, hit the clutch free throws. I mean, that's just basically what it is. I mean, I didn't like, and to shoot 58% from the field for the whole season, and the game, and y'all advancing the whole season's on the line in the final seconds, and you step up and hit both of them. We don't even see that a lot on the NBA level. If it's percentage 58%, we like, all right, dog. Like, yeah, you might get one fight, bring one in, but yeah, this is right. He stayed up there calmly, and knocked it down. And honestly, Texas had, they shot 7 for 20, 35%. But the 23 turnovers is what killed them also. They actually hit enough to win, but 23 turnovers, you gave them chances. And like I told you how athletic Texas is with their length and their athleticism, defensively and stuff like that. Abilene Christian shot 29% from the field, 16% from three, and they still found a way to win. So that came from the turnovers and stuff like that. And down the stretch, Texas couldn't shoot. They couldn't score enough, so they missed some money. So that's what happened.
Ray, any additional thoughts on the upset or no?
Nah, man, them turnovers did them in. Abilene Christian, they did their homework, and they executed defensively how they needed to, and then of course made those clutch free throws at the end. I mean, that's the preparation and execution, man. That's what gets you wins this time of year. And man, shout out to them, their coach staff and their players. It was because as Cardell said, Texas did have some glaring weaknesses, and they exploited them.
And Matt Coleman is one of the best point guards in the country. I've been watching him since high school on the circuit. Him having 7 turnovers, I've never seen that. So they got into him good. And he's their floor general, man. Everything Texas pretty much runs off of his decision making. Mm-hmm. So, once they disrupted him, everything else fell apart eventually.
All right. As for the late game update for tonight, it's half between the 4-12 matchup in the Midwest region. Oklahoma State is down 14 to Oregon State. Oregon State up 44-30. All right. We're going to get started. We're going to stay in the Midwest region, rather. One of the biggest stories of the day. Like I said, only just one of them, though. 8 seed Loyola Chicago started the day off with a bang, beating Illinois 71-58. And y'all go ahead, man.
Cameron Pertwee, man.
Yes, man.
He was, I was watching him. I was like, ooh, he got that old school, old man in a pickup game. Boys, I'm like, ooh. How Loyola Chicago beat Illinois was defense. They held the sumo. They basically took them out of the game. They held them to 9 points, 4-10 shooting. This is probably one of the best defensive performances I've seen all year. How they defended the pick and roll. how they trap, how they jam Illinois guards up. Look how he fought. I mean, it's just the ball movement. You so worried about on offense. You so worried about their actions and them curling and going back door. Fredway was just wide open. He was just like, okay. You see what I'm saying? So, but Loyola thrived off their defense, man. They suffocated Illinois. Cockburn got off, but no one else was able to get off and do what they wanted to do, man. So, and we all know when you're the smallest school in the state and you play against the state's biggest school, it's a big ass chip on your shoulder because none of those kids, I guarantee you, none of those kids at Loyola Chicago got recruited by Illinois. You know what I'm saying? So for them to knock off the top school, the top school in the state, the most recognizable school in the state, that's definitely bragging rights, man. But Crutway was just, he did it all, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially down the stretch, man. He was that was textbook, man. I love seeing that, man, because you don't see too many post plays with a post game like that anymore, man. That's old school. That's like 80s, 70s post, man. We ain't gonna rely off athleticism. We gonna give you just to death, left hand, left and right shoulder, right hand. It don't matter. So that's what he did, man. So kudos to him, man. But their defense was just outstanding all game long, and Illinois never could recover.
Yeah, man. I definitely didn't have Cameron Krutwig out playing Kofi Cockburn on my 2021 bingo card, but here we are, man. And by him kind of them two canceling each other out, and then Loyola being able to take out every other Illinois player, there you have it, game time, man. Thanks for coming out. And then Loyola, they shot 51% from the field, 40% from three. So they was converting their opportunities on offense. And it just is what it is, man. Illinois got to come back next year.
Bro, they use Krutwig like Denver uses Jokic.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
I was looking at the game like, what the it looked like they just stole number Denver Nuggets sets and just ran through this dude. So great win for Loyola.
All right, we're going to stay in this region. Bayheim and that good old zone, man. Death taxes and that zone being effective in this time of the year. 11 ranked Syracuse took down 11 seeded Syracuse took down 3 seed West Virginia. Like an old school Big East matchup from when both folks was in the conference, 75-72. But Cuse advances to the next round.
Like you said, the zone. Bayheim put the pressure on them. The Sun Bayheim put the pressure on West Virginia, making shots, especially from deep. Syracuse shot 14 to 31 from deep. That's damn near 50%, dog. But on the other end, their zone. If you're not used to playing against zone, especially their zone, they're gonna bust your ass. And for I say about midway through the first half, that's what was happening. I was like, damn. West Virginia, they about to get up out of here by halftime, but Huggins made an adjustment and they started running like quick sets, curl actions, backdoor stuff to disrupt it, keep them occupied, keep the zone occupied. But when you play in the zone, you gotta make jumpers. You gotta make jumpers to make them extend so you can try to get in the lane and create, and it's hard to do. They didn't make enough shots to warrant that, so defensively, Syracuse ain't have to adjust much. Even when they drove and tried to kick it to their big underneath the basket, you saw 3 Syracuse defenders swarming that dude. So all he did was just pass it right back out, which is what they want. So they forced West Virginia to be a jump shooting team, and West Virginia couldn't hit enough jumpers. That's how they lost.
Yeah, man, that zone been doing people in for 40 years. Ain't nothing going to change about that. It was a great performance from Syracuse, and with Bob Huggins being the great coach that he is, of course he found a wrinkle or something that will work at least momentarily to get him back in the game. But like Cardell said, Syracuse they live and die by it, and unless you just murdering them from outside, they gonna roll with it, and it got them to win. And Buddy Bayheim, man, he just lit them up.
6 for 13 from deep. I remember when he first came on Syracuse, they was looking at him like, bro, you just here because your pops the coach, dog. Like, and he done got better. He done worked on his game, man. He tore them up, man. And he was the main culprit. What do you have? 8 threes? What do you have? No, 6 threes.
Mm-hmm.
It's game time.
He was letting them things go and telling a couple folks about it when he was. It was funny. It also made me feel old that Boeheim's son is out here cooking. Man. just to throw that on top of that. But Houston, the second seed in this region, they held off Rutgers. We told you guys last night it's probably gonna be a very close game. It was just that Houston survived and advanced with 63-60. You guys' thoughts on that one?
They just got a few more opportunities to make shots, man. They got to the free throw line. They hit a three. It was that close. I mean, I thought, I did a probe early in the year on Montez Mathis from Rutgers, so I've been high on their team, even though they got off to a strong start. Then towards the end, injuries and all that stuff, COVID and all that, and they jacked them up and they went on a losing streak. I'm glad they still put them in the tournament because they was worthy. They got a game out of it. They actually had this game, man, but Houston just got a couple more possessions, man, and they made a couple more shots. Sometimes it comes down to that. Whereas Rutgers didn't down the stretch, man. They had every chance to win. This was definitely a battle of guards. You got Quentin Grimes on Houston. Then you got Ron Harper Jr., but he didn't have a good game. Montez Mathis, he came off the bench. He had 10 points. Baker, he had 14 points, but their guards did not. Ron Harper Jr. and Young, who they rely on the most, they didn't have a good game shooting the ball. And that was, to me, was the difference down the stretch, man. And Houston guards didn't really get off like that outside of Quentin Grimes, but they got going late, and that's what won the game. Down the stretch, Houston just played better, man. They made more shots. It's as simple as that, man. Rutgers could have easily won this game.
Yeah, man. Like as a lower seed, this one you look back on and you just kick yourself. Like, I mean, you won't get many of these opportunities to begin with, but Houston, they found a way, and it's this one and done style. You just got to play well enough to survive, and then next game, slate's wiped clean, start all over. So yeah, man, I'm sure they're relieved, and got to be disappointing for Rutgers to give one away like this, especially for a chance to go to the Sweet 16. So yeah, man, this gonna be a tough one to live through for the summer.
All right, on to the South region. Continuing in this trend that we've had with people do a good job. Baylor, they were 1 seed. They took care of Wisconsin. We know Wisconsin knocked out North Carolina. Baylor heard about ones getting knocked out. They decided they wanted to advance, stick around for a while. They used a strong first half to get a good cushion, and after that, second half was mostly just trading buckets. But they held on to beat the Badgers 76-63.
I thought Matt Mayer was huge for Baylor coming off the bench. 17 points. What do you have? 6 rebounds in 24 minutes. To me, he was the difference of the game. He only averaged 8 throughout the season. So for him to double his production, I know that was something that Wisconsin wasn't expecting. They were probably keying in on, like Batal and Thomlin, those guys, and Butler and those guys, but they should have been more. They should have kept an eye on the bench too, because he was one. He came in and he kept the offensive production going when he came in. When the starters got rest, and then when the starters got back in, they did what they did, and that's how in the first half the game was essentially over. They cruised. So that's my take from it. I just feel like they had another horse off the bench that was the X factor in this game. I'm talking about Baylor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. We talk a lot about backcourt play. The last game for Wisconsin, Trice and Brad Davison, they combined for 50 points against UNC. Like tonight, they was 8 for 28 together. So when you missing that from from. Go ahead. Did he freeze?
I think so. Oh no.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying that missing that from your last game, And then they got turned over 14 times, led to 16 points for Baylor. That's pretty much all she wrote, man. Baylor went up 13 at the half, and with the way they play defense, that was a nice enough cushion for them to just go ahead and close it out.
All right, on to the very next game. 3 seed Arkansas, they survived in advance. 68-66 win over 6 seed Texas Tech. Texas Tech is one of those things you got to be a little bit sick because it's not like you didn't have an opportunity. You had a couple of those down the stretch, man. We talked about this last night. I forgot what team it was. I think it was UC Santa Barbara. So about folks having like prime opportunities. This is one of those things where, man, sleep is about to be rough for a little while. Man.
Kyler Edwards gonna have nightmares, dog. But he that last possession, he was shaky from get-go because he was trying to get the ball to Mac McClung, but they denied him real good. Arkansas denied that real good. Like it would have been a steal. It would have been ugly. So he pushed the ball up court. He's trying to get him in the set, get him in the offense, and Arkansas just wouldn't let it happen. They was like, "You want to win this, dog. You ain't getting into it." He tried to pass across court to McClung. He tried to dribble handoff to McClung. It did not really work. They were not having it. So you gotta give credit to Arkansas because it forced Texas Tech to go where they didn't really want to go. So he got the ball. As you can see, he drives and he just blows the layup. That's game. I mean, but he was nervous the whole possession. That's my whole point. It was like I don't know about this. Y'all might want to get about his hands, but.
Yeah, and like Arkansas, I mean, they made a run down the stretch. We actually saw this a lot today in a few games, but Tech, they missed some layups and free throws. In the waning moments, like the game is close, the little things get magnified that much more, and we don't execute on all fronts. Then that's the end of the season, and that's pretty much what we saw.
No, look, man, I know y'all tired of hearing this across different programming tonight, but fundamentals, the little things, simple things, it's killing folks. It's either putting folks in great position, Loyola Chicago, where I don't think they got one little thing wrong on the evening. They were on point. All those little fine points that found their way on the whiteboard for Loyola Chicago, I guarantee you they checked every last single box. And maybe a couple more. Maybe there's some boxes added to it.
Right.
You want to talk about executing? That's what that was, man. And again, like right there, we're talking about I'm sorry, because I'm gonna say the wrong team right there. But for Texas Tech, right, if you're not that comfortable, come off the ball, like you still had time. Like you didn't have to, right?
Right.
Like I get you were trying to get it to McClung. Come off it. Because you clearly look like you ended up doing something. What you ended up doing was the last thing in the world. That was the last place you wanted to be at that moment, was having that ball going towards the basket. Because, and the only reason I'm not trying to be funny, the only reason I'm saying it because he didn't drive with any type of conviction.
Exactly. He just did it because
he probably would have got a whistle.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, dog, like Cardell said, man, he looked nervous from jump. Them knees was probably buckling, heart beating all fast. Like, man, he had a one-track mind. He couldn't even think fast enough to do anything else.
He looked like he was on he looked like he was about to turn it over like 2 or 3 times before he got up the court. Like it was like, yo, y'all got like, I don't know if they had timeouts or something. Somebody should have just went and just got the ball. Like, give me the ball and move, dog. Just run away, like, so I could get this good shot, man. But despite all that, he had a bunny and he blew it, dog. That's gonna be a nightmare for him, man. Like, oh man, But Arkansas, man, their defense is just crazy, man. I love homie Justin Smith, man. He's been very consistent in the tournament, man. I know he got NBA dudes looking at him the way he's been performing. So 6'8" too, doing all that. Yeah, he's special. So, good win for Arkansas.
All right. We got there goes this other big upset. You know, told y'all about them the first night. Uh, that 15 seed just looks disgusting. That 15 looks like somebody. Hey, that's two teams that got finessed by whoever was doing the seedings. They had no business having 15 in front of them. They should have had a double. This team should have had 2 digits in front of their name. And I probably feel some type of way if I was Florida and the team before Florida, because I'm really trying to think after going through what you went through. Ain't no way in hell that they was a 15. Like what were y'all doing? You trying to tell me you couldn't move one of these 10s out the way? One of these 9s? Look, man, we talked about it last night. Regardless of you got to throw the 15 seed out the window. When you have a dynamic, like they have the type of duo that a Power 5 school has with a 15 seed. And look, man, I'm sure if you go talk to Florida right now, they're not happy, man, but these 2 dudes did it again. Obanor and Abmas, they did it again. I don't know what to tell y'all. They did it again. So going forward, just ignore the 15 and just talk about the things you got to do, whoever their future opponent may be, in terms of slowing them down. But you got to throw the 15 out the window, man. They did it again. Oral Roberts is on to the next round, man.
What actually isn't? They pronounce his last name Asmus.
I'm
Don't ask
sorry.
me why.
Gotcha.
No, I just learned. Don't.
I appreciate it. You said Asmus?
Asmus, man.
Got you. So Obanor and Asmus.
Yes, Asmus. First of all, Obanor, lead him. You know, he's playing this right as on the draft board. He's been murdering any and everybody, man. But Asmus, he led all the college in scoring. So you got 2 dudes that can get a bucket at any time. That always gives you a chance. And it goes back to what we talked about earlier, where we like on the men's side, that mid-major, low major stuff don't matter in the tournament no more because they feel like they're just as good as the highly touted 5-star guys, or they just didn't get the opportunity maybe because of the school they went to and they proved it. Those 2 dudes led Oral Roberts back from 11-point deficit. They brought him back, and they put the pressure on Florida. Florida didn't really respond in the second half, and Oral Roberts they pulled away, man. They just clicking, man. They clicking, and they got firepower. That's the thing. No one on that team scored more than 9 points. No one can guard the 2-headed monster for the team, Obanor and Asmus. Asmus had 26.7 assists and 2 steals on 6 of 14 shooting. Perfect from the free throw line. He's not even a good 3-point shooter, but he's so quick and can handle the rock so good. Can't nobody guard him. Obanor, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 4 steals, 9 of 16 shooting. 6'8". He's ideal. I mean, dog, he's the prototype NBA wing now. What he can do, dog. Yeah, I mean, that's honestly what it was. Florida may be the bigger name, but truth be told, Oral Roberts probably got more talent, more big time talent. If you match up their top guys' talent against Florida's top guys' talent, who you taking? I'm just being real.
You said NBA wing, right? Prototypical NBA wing. So yeah, gonna probably lean that way off the early. Just me.
So that's what it was. And also, I think they were the more aggressive team. They got to the free throw lines way more than Florida did, and that ended up being the difference in the game. You could score and stop the clock. That's how they got back in it. So just be real. Oral Roberts was the better team.
Yeah, them 2 dudes is hell to deal with, man. Like, and this, you gonna have to bring it to stop them because. I mean, after Asmus, the next highest score had 9 points, and they only go 8 deep. So figure out a way to stop them, or you're gonna lose. That's just what it is. Like, because they are talented enough to put your lights out, and we saw it twice. You know, so I mean, whoever they play next, better get in that film room ASAP because yeah. And I don't even think you can even prepare for that for real. I mean, you can do your best, but I'm sure it's different once you get in front of it. Because man, they can go.
Yeah,
yeah. That's man, it ain't even too much to get into. They beat Florida by themselves.
They closed the game. Oral Roberts closed the game on an 8-2 run in the last 3 minutes and 19 seconds. They got dudes that can they got dudes that can create and get buckets. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, they was giving folks those two taking so much attention. Everybody else, when they pass it, wide open, unbothered looks.
They closed the game. Look, so A. Smith, he had from the 319 mark on down. A. Smith had 2 free throws and assists. So he had 2 points and assists in the last 319. And Obenor, he had added. Let me see. He had 3 points. They literally made all the plays, contributed to all the points in the last 3 minutes and 19 seconds. So they took the game from Florida.
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna close this night with the Villanova. You know they face North Texas, and Villanova's Villanova this time of the year, regardless of who's out there for Villanova. 81-64, North Texas came to the tourney. You did win a game. Hey, hope you enjoyed your run. Look, man.
Javion Hamlin, man, he had a strong tournament, man. What a way to go out, 25, 6 and 4, 39 minutes. He left it all out there. You can't get mad at him. He balled, man. Like you said, Villanova's Villanova. They're seasoned. They're used to going deep in the tournament. They have experience. And this team particularly, they have a balanced attack. So you can't just key in on one guy because you got 4 others that can kill you. Robinson Herb, 18 points, 6 rebounds. Samuels, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Justin Moore, local kid out of DeMatha, 15 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Daniels with 11 points. They got a solid bench production. Dixon had 4 and 8 minutes. Switter had 9. Antoine had 6. They played Villanova basketball. It's as simple as that. They were efficient, 55% from the field, 50% from deep, 19 assists. It's hard to beat a team when you literally got to guard everybody. It ain't like what we just saw on the pro level where you just key on him and force other guys to make shots. Nah, who you going to key on? Everybody can make shots. So you're going to have to make shots and you want to step your defense up to slow a couple of those guys down so you can win. But that's easier said than done. So that's what you have, man. I'm not really shocked. When it's tournament time or even conference tournament, national tournament, when it's tournament time, Villanova always step their game up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, man. The better team won. Jay Wright, he has those guys prepared. They've been before, like you guys said. It's not a shock. Cardell ran down the stats. That type of balanced attack and shooting efficiency, it's hard to beat. Plain and simple. Like it's really not much you can do, man. And they defend well. So yeah, man. Pack your bags.
You guys are so kind. Last but not least is a couple standout players for you guys before we close this evening.
Of course, the Oral Roberts kids. Yeah, and Baker.
Yeah, go ahead. You said Oral Roberts.
Yeah, them two, obviously. I mean, it's Obenor, like Adele pointed out, he's NBA ready. A. Smith, I wouldn't be surprised if he shook some things up as well. And Cardell brought up Boeheim.
Crutwig. My man Crutwig.
Yes.
Mid-major Jokic. That's what I'm about to call from now. Mid-major Jokic.
Yeah, man. But just some good individual performances today. Quinn Grimes as well.
All right, Cardell.
I just said it.
Okay.
Boeheim and Crutwig.
All right. Boeheim and mid-major Jokic. Got it. All right. We want to thank everybody for hanging with us tonight. Tomorrow we'll be back for Within the Madness again, both the men's and the women's edition. So you guys have a great one and enjoy the basketball tomorrow. Another full day of college basketball.